Thank you. Nice to see everybody. We appreciate y'all being here. We would like to start off with our Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Perry, would you lead us in the pledge?
You can all rise, please. Gentlemen, remove your lips. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would y'all bow with me as we go to the Lord? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for this beautiful county, this beautiful state. Heavenly Father, we would like to lift up Representative Jared Hembry. Lord, place your healing hands on him. Lord, be with his family. Be with those that are caring for him. Lord, we know you do miracles. We know we've seen it every day. We just ask that you care for our brother. Lord, we've heard some good news. We hope it is. Be with our brothers and sisters in Israel. Bring those hostages home. Let those families heal and get on with their lives. We just thank you for all the miracles that you've given each and every one of us. Lord, give us open ears and open hearts as we go through this day. And we pray this. And to God be the glory. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Cindy, do we have a quorum
Good morning, yes ma'am, we do.
after we finally got all our little chickens up here?
Yes.
Thank you. First item is we had back in December our chairman and our,
Oh, we'll do the,
you want to do the proclamation?
uh,
Okay.
no, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're leading it. You're right.
Do you have what you
Yes.
have? Okay.
I have the election of officers for
Okay.
2025.
All righty, go ahead.
Madam Chairman, Commissioners, the first item we need to attend to today is the election of the chairman and the vice chairman for this year. In accordance with ordinance number 31, the Chaves County Board of Commissioners must elect a chairman and a vice chairman of the commission for the year 2025. The terms for these positions are for 1 year, and the elections become effective January 16th, 2025. And we ask that you present the names and elect a chairman and a vice chairman.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Do I hear a motion for a chairman at this time?
Madam Chair, I would like to move that Commissioner Taylor be selected as chair and Commissioner Perry as vice chair.
All righty. Do I have Cindy, Commissioner Wade has made a motion for Commissioner Taylor to be chairman and Commissioner Perry for vice chair. Do I have a second?
Second.
Pardon? Okay. Commissioner Korn, second. Do we need to do these separate, or can we do these all together?
The motion was made to do them together.
Okay.
Stands, yeah.
All righty. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. All righty. Thank you very much. Commissioner Taylor is our chairman. Commissioner Perry is our vice chair. And I would like to hand over the gavel to you and the chairmanship. Is that okay?
Yes.
All righty. Come on up. I'll move. Thank you.
I get the boot too, don't I?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Pardon us while we make a switcheroo. Commissioner Perry, I'll take yours. Thank you. Oh, I forgot my. Can I have your hat?
Thank you, Alex.
Oh,
You want to, I thought the movie gets the,
oh, it's okay. I don't mind. I've been down here before. Thank you very much. Oh, my water. Did you bring my water, Alex?
that may be,
I
not be
did.
tainted though, too. That-
Does he want this water
Well, there's two down there, I think,
Okay, good.
or somewhere there was.
All right.
I have one.
Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank my fellow commissioners for
Thank
electing
you.
me as chairman. I'm committed to working with the staff and all our commissioners as we work forward in this new year. We have a great county, a great staff of employees, and I think it's an excellent commission. Look forward to our two new commissioners and working with them. One of the first things we will do in the next couple of weeks is select committee assignments. I would like to see that every one of the commissioners gets a list of the committees, and if they would submit to myself or Bill Williams, or both of us, committees that they would like to serve on, that they feel like they have the expertise and the desire to serve on, then we can make the choice. Most of the committees will have 2 members. I think there is one for the ATZ, we'll have 3. So if you get that information to me, we will act on that and get the committee assignments made. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda or change it?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, if it's possible, given what's going on today, it has been suggested that we move agenda item number 6, which is appoint an individual to fill the vacant New Mexico House seat 59, move that up to agenda item, before agenda item number 1, and then the rest of the agenda stay the same in respect for people's time.
Do we have a motion?
I motion exactly what Bill just said. Let's move 6 to 1. How's that?
And approve the rest of the agenda?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And did the motion include accepting the agenda otherwise, Michael? Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir.
The approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'd like a motion to approve the agenda for today.
The minutes. We're on the minutes.
From December.
Say again.
We're approving the minutes now. You did the
minutes.
agenda.
Oh, the minutes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Approval, I would like to make a motion to make the approval for the minutes of today, or last meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Presentations. Commissioner Perry?
Yeah, we have a proclamation we'd like to do.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
not quite
presentations
here
first.
yet.
Go ahead.
So presentations we have this morning, we have the Chamber, Main Street,
Right.
Roswell.
Okay, Chamber, would you like to make a presentation?
I wanted to give you our end of 2024 brief synopsis of what we've been doing at the Roswell Chamber of Commerce. We ended 2025 with just over 500 members. That was a accumulation of both new members and re-upped members over the year of 2024. And we had almost 50 ribbon cuttings and grand openings to celebrate our members throughout the community in 2024. And we have 2 more coming up this next week. And we are going to start posting those on social media for more people to attend, because I have gotten a lot of feedback that people have requested that they want to see that, so that way they can come and be a part of the celebrations with us. And we are off to a great start for 2025 so far. At the end of the month, on January 27th, our Leadership Roswell class will be going to Santa Fe to do their 2-day tour and learn everything that there is to know about Santa Fe and the legislative session. At that time, the Chamber of Commerce will also be attending the legislative reception and have a booth. So of course, we're always looking for community members to give us items to pass out, because people don't want to see something that says the Chamber of Commerce. We want to go and advertise all of the fantastic community members that we have. And then of course, we are knee deep in planning our Rise with Roswell agricultural breakfast that will be taking place on Thursday, March 27th, out at the fairgrounds at 6 a.m. And as most people know, that is our breakfast that we do every year to celebrate our agricultural community, because without them, we would have nothing. We wouldn't eat. As Candy Spencer has told me for 25 years, if you eat, you're part of ag. So please be looking for the invitations and contact me at the chamber if you would like a ticket, or even better, if you'd like to be an event sponsor or a table sponsor. And with that, I stand for questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Co-op and 4-H.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Tamara with the Chaves County Cooperative Extension Service. We will be having our annual advisory board meeting next month, but just a couple of things that we've got coming down. Master Gardeners classes start for 2025 on Saturday. Today's the last day to get registered for anybody that's interested in participating with those. Drew will be headed to the Hay Conference that takes place in Ruidoso. Online registration is still available if anybody's interested in attending. On the FCS side, we kicked off our Prevent T2, which is type 2 diabetes, with double the participation this year that we saw last year. So that should be a great course this year. And we, again, will be hosting our Kitchen Creations Diabetic Cooking School come March, and the registration is currently open for that one as well. And I'm going to let Katie catch you up on the 4-H side.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Katie Wright with Chaves County 4-H. We have had a very busy winter break. We have trained lots of young leaders, and it's been incredible. Had some kids camps, and now everybody's back to school. So that's exciting. We have started some new school programming within Hagerman, and that will kick off this month. And towards the beginning of February, we will be looking at taking our Chaves County 4-H Council up to 4-H Day at the Roundhouse to share their passion for agriculture and 4-H at the legislature. So otherwise, we'll keep it short and sweet. As always, we appreciate you and your support so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, with
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Mike Espiritu, EDC. I'm going to defer my comments this morning because we've been working with the Reno Air Races folks. And with us this morning is Mr. Fred Telling, the Chairman and CEO of the Reno Air Races, to give you a brief update on what's been going on.
Thank you, Mike. Congratulations, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, all commissioners, for your public service. Deeply appreciated, and it's critical for all levels of government to work effectively. As Mike said, I have the honor and pleasure of being the chairman and the CEO of the National Championship Air Races. And in May of this last year, we had the honor of being able to announce that Roswell, New Mexico was the site selected to be the future home. It's at all levels of government, I must say. From the first time that we came to do a site selection, the level of commitment, community support, outreach, and cooperation that we've seen, both in the development of the proposal and all of the efforts since then, has just been enormous. City, county, all the way up to the state. And I can't thank each and every one of you enough for that level of support to basically build the infrastructure and take the Roswell Airport up to a new level of support. We bring not only the races, it's an iconic event that's existed for over 60 years now. from Reno here. And racing is obviously critical and the first sort of mission, part of our mission statement, but it's not by any means the key component. There are three other elements that I'd just like to share with you briefly. The first is honoring our military. The fact of the matter is, as many of us say to the military today and past veterans, thank you for their service. And as one former officer looked at me one day, and it's always struck with me, he said, thanking us for our service is somewhat like thanking the waitress for their support. You should thank us for helping to keep America free. And I've always been struck by that comment, and I carry it to this day. So honoring our military has always been a critical part of our activities. We have a military day in which all veterans, past, current and past servicemen are welcome, invited to come free. A friend of mine and I, for a decade now, have always sponsored military appreciation hats, which are just a small way of saying thank you each year to them. And the fact of the matter is, working with the military, and here with Cannon on the one side and Holloman to the other, we are actually looking forward to a great deal of military support. We have always had, usually a military jet team. Because of the timing of the announcement in 2025, we will not be able to have a military jet team because it was difficult for them to fit us into their schedule when we couldn't tell them either the date or the place. However, I am honored and pleased to tell you we just received confirmation yesterday of an announcement that Mike was with us when we were at ICAS in December. The United States Air Force Thunderbirds have announced that Roswell is their official location for the National Championship Air Races. They'll be with us in 2026. And they actually are making a small exception for us. They need barriers up in the event that they have an engine problem within 80 nautical miles. Holloman is 82. And we also received word that they were going to make an exception to that, and Holloman will be acceptable from their point of view, and we won't have to put up temporary barriers here. So honoring our military is a critical component. The last piece of it is we usually work with Training Command out of San Antonio to come up and swear in anywhere from 20 to 50 candidates and cadets, and we expect to continue that tradition. The next major piece of our mission is STEM program. We've had as high as 8,500 students come through our STEM program in the past, and the person who has led that and works with us was here 2 months ago, met with the superintendent of schools, many of your principals. The level of enthusiasm and support, I wish I had the kind of ebullience that he had. When we saw him at dinner that night, he was over the moon with the level of support. So he actually thinks we may beat that 8,500 number this coming year. But a second component of our commitment to interesting people in careers in aviation is a scholarship program. The scholarship program is something we'll be bringing here. We began it only 4 years ago in Reno with 10 scholarships. It got increased last year to 13. These are $10,000 scholarships to help people with flight training. I don't want to bore you with the long story, but when I began to fly in 1970 and 71, conditions were such that I could earn my private pilot's license basically with a very good summer job. It's very difficult to do in this day and age. But working with flight schools, we found this is a path to get people into their private pilot's license. We've been very successful. Working with the university, and I'm delighted to see Dr. Powell with us, but working with the university, we have an MOU and cooperation that we're developing. But importantly, with the passage of the bond issue and their program in AMPs, Bobby Thompson and I have actually additionally funded 5 scholarships at $10,000 each for AMP. Because I think, and I'll close with this later, but I think that the airport facility that you have, the Walker Air Force Base that was left to you, is often an underappreciated and potentially underutilized asset. And if we can grow AMP students here, we can expand aviation support and mechanics, we should be able to build good high-paying jobs and build on the economic strength of what I think is a resource that can be better leveraged. These scholarship programs will be one small spark. It's not the end of the story, but we hope will be helpful. And then finally, and probably most importantly, the ability to bring significant economic benefit to the community and become part of join and learn from your culture and become part of your community is a key part of what we plan for. We were in Reno for 60 years. I know I'll be dead and gone by that time in the future, but I'm hoping they'll be here that long, well into the future. So at this point, I can only thank you for everything you've done. A quick status update. We actually have all class presidents in here this week with 2 planes from each. They're doing course evaluations at the moment to make sure the pylons will be in the right places. We'll cooperate and work with the FAA for final placement, but Rick Matthews and the city engineer have been taking care of all of that work. In May, we'll be back with over 400 people. NCAR, the September event, September 10th through 14th, I understand from what I heard, virtually all hotel rooms for that week are already booked in Roswell. We always knew that was going to be a challenge. Mike, in working with us, and the mayor has clearly said, we have to view this, and we do. When we called up and said this was the home, this is a southeastern New Mexico opportunity. We need all of the support of the communities, and from the first time we came, 4 of, I believe, the 6 mayors of the surrounding communities came and participated. That level of cooperation and support that we've seen in this community is truly impressive. I hate to tell a tale out of stool, but I can't stop myself. For the last 5 years, I haven't even been able to get the mayor of Reno to show up at the races. So when I tell you that I'm enthusiastic about the level of support here, I hope you can understand just how happy we are. So I'll end with that. I'd be delighted to take any questions, but I'm here probably 2 weeks out of every month, and my final commitment to joining this community is I'm house hunting. It'll be a second home for me, but I look forward to making Roswell part of my life going forward, and I couldn't be more delighted to do so. So, Mr. Commissioners, thank you very much. Anything I can answer?
Yes, sir. How are we doing with, or I'm sure you have some benchmarks to get the show on the road, so to speak. How are we making those benchmarks, and is there anything, if you're not, that we can do to help?
You will be delighted to hear, I suspect, that everything is actually going extraordinarily well. I started off this morning working at the airport with Bobby Thompson and Sturdy Steel, the contractor for the grandstands. They're going over all the final plans and developments. The site survey people are on site right now working with the city. They should be done with their work in 2 weeks, and since the foundations, get dug fairly deep, it's a chance. I had to leave before this part of it, but I believe they'll begin starting the foundation work possibly in February. And I'll be going up to Santa Fe with Mike and some others, basically to round out some remaining funding. But the fact of the matter is, in almost all areas, everything is proceeding very smoothly. And my hat's off to the county because, I understand your Public Works Group and everything is making a major investment in helping us with the chip sealing of the event space that we have out there. So the day may come when I have to come ask for something, but right now I'm seriously just here to thank you. I've never had the honor and pleasure of working with the community so closely as this one, and it's been a real pleasure. So we're on track, and I'll keep you up to date if your meetings allow in the future.
Thank you for saying that. It's nice to hear that everybody's working together.
All right, well, thank you very much. Thank you for the time
Fred,
today.
and we are also very excited and happy to have you here.
Thank you. This could be a match made in heaven, hoping for the best.
Do we have somebody from Main Street that'd like to make a presentation?
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to come speak this morning. I didn't quite realize that I was going to speak today, but I'm glad to speak. I want to give you a quick overview of 2024, but I first want to start by thanking Fred and Bobby with the National Championship Air Races. So thank you so much. We met with them last week, and we are planning to put together a presentation for the stakeholders of Main Street and anybody else that would like to come. Basically, we want to give them an overview of the event, or they're going to give us an overview of the event, and give them some tips and pointers about how to get ready for the air races so that Main Street and the community can start preparing, because this is just around the corner. So thank you so much, Fred and Bobby, for that. As far as Main Street Roswell, I'd want to tell you about what's been happening in 2024 briefly. We continue with our farmers market event that happens at the Chaves County Courthouse. It starts in July and ends in October. This last year, Main Street Roswell was chosen as the overseer of the 2024 UFO event. And just this week, we were again confirmed by the city of Roswell that we will be overseeing and organizing the 2025 UFO Festival. So that's a huge job. So we're already starting to work on that, already making plans and who's going to take care of what. We're going to be working pretty much collaboratively with the city of Roswell on parts of it, and the rest of it will be the work of Main Street Roswell. Another big thing that we worked on this year and continue for this year, the Great Blocks Grant and the Chaves County Cultural Plaza. This is a collaborative effort between Main Street Roswell and Chaves County. Main Street had received a grant in 2022-23 for $2.1 million towards a Great Blocks area. It started out being with the city, but then they found out they really couldn't handle that financially, so that was moved over to Chaves County. And I've had the pleasure of working with Bill and Alex and the team, and they've done an awesome job. So as far as the Great Blocks Cultural Plaza, it's 100% complete in terms of the plans, the engineering, and the design. And if those of you that don't know where that will be, it's going to be directly behind the Chaves County Courthouse, past the parking lot in an area that's a dirt area back there. So everything's ready to go. All the plans are ready. This did go out for bid for construction, and unfortunately, due to the flooding and the rains that happened and storms here in Roswell, we didn't get any bids at all towards that. So that has gone back out for bid, and this time we're going further out, maybe in Texas and El Paso and some of those areas. So a big thank you to Chaves County for being partners with us on that. This year also we're working on a wayfinding plan with the city of Roswell, which we're planning on building a gateway that will be on West 9th Street and Main Street. It was going to be, right past the convention center, but since we don't know now, it'll still be there. But, the convention center is still in process, and I don't know what they're going to be doing with that. But we've completed the design on that, and we had received $100,000 for design, and we also received $400,000 towards a construction, but I'm being told that that's not enough money, so we're going to do what we can to start that gateway. The other thing that I do want to thank the county for is they helped us a lot this year with the holiday events that we have on the Chaves County Courthouse. A big thank you, Bill, and to everyone that helped us. They came out and helped us to put up the community Christmas tree. It's a 17-foot tree. And not only did they do that, they also secured the tree by placing some, I don't know what they're called, Alex and Bill.
Specialized anchors.
Specialized anchors to hold a tree down, because last year with the winds blowing, the tree fell over twice. And so they put in some special anchors for us, and they're in the cement and right in front of the stairs area where the tree generally sits. And so now the tree will not fall over. So thank you so much. And let me see what else. I think that's all I have to report in today. If you have any questions for me. All right.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we're ready to do a proclamation. Do we want to bring everyone in before we start that? Would that be the best way to do that? While they're bringing those young men and women in, I want to point out that we have one of our commissioners here played on the Roswell High School football team in 87, 88, 89. He was not the quarterback all the time, but a portion of the time he was. And then another interesting twist to this whole thing is Alex Palomino, our public services director, is the father of the quarterback of the Roswell Coyotes football team. So because of Commissioner Perry's connection with the Roswell High football team, he's going to read the proclamation this morning. And we'll get a picture.
Probably break the fire code, right? Yeah.
That's cool.
You want to go line them up on the back and
Yeah, let's just kind of squeeze around, guys.
picture?
What's up, man?
This will stand up or what?
How you guys finding here?
Going another row up here. They're coming in. Yeah, I think you need to go around there. We'll be able to get you a picture. Just make another row in front of them. Fight for position. You guys know how to do that up there. Thank you all for attending. I'm sure you don't mind getting out of school for just a little bit.
Amen.
Again, it's an honor for me to read this proclamation because I was on the 87 and 88 state football championships team, and I'm dating myself here. I'm getting a little older and a little ball spot in the back, but I was a quarterback in '89. So this is, I know what it's like to be here. I really appreciate you guys being here. I know what it's like to have the sweat running off your forehead in August and not really liking it, but I'm glad you did it because now it paid off, right? How many of you get to do it again? Show of hands, who, my juniors, sophomore, all right. So it looks like we're in good shape, Coach.
Yeah, we should be.
Gonna be around still?
Hopefully, God willing.
Yeah, all right, okay. Coach, we appreciate you being here, and I'd love to read this proclamation. Roswell Coyote Football Championship Day. Whereas the Roswell High School Coyotes achieved a great accomplishment when they won the state of New Mexico Class 5A State Championship on Saturday, November 30th, 2024. And whereas the Roswell High Coyotes dominated, I like that word, it should have been in bold, the Artesia Bulldogs to win the state championship with a final score of 41-22 in an impressive display. Whereas this win represents the Roswell Coyotes' third state championship in 5A state football since 2018 and their 8th state championship since the inception of this program. Whereas this team and its coaches represented their high school families and community with honor. And whereas the Chaves County Board of Commissioners desires to recognize and celebrate this team's outstanding accomplishments today. Now therefore, the Chaves County Board of Commissioners hereby congratulate the Roswell High School football team for winning their state 5A state championship. Let it further be resolved that Thursday, January 16, 2025 is hereby proclaimed Roswell Coyote Football Championship Day in Chaves County, New Mexico. And this is done the 16th day of January 2025. Anybody else want to say thanks, or we good? You got something to say, Cliff?
I just want to thank you guys for recognizing us. I'm not exactly sure what our county does to support youth sports programs, but you know, we came to the city commission meeting, and you know, I had the kids raise their hand and ask, you know, who all played RYFL football? Raise your hand. You know, and that, you know, I don't know what you guys do to support youth sports in Roswell, but this is the fruit of that labor, and you know, I appreciate you know, the support, and we appreciate that all you've done, guys. This is a special group. We're not perfect, but you know, these guys won on and off the field. I mean, I said the other night at the school board meeting, You know, we had a 3.1 GPA. You know, raise your hand if you had straight A's last semester. Every one of our seniors finished the fall semester with a C or better in every class. Our juniors and our seniors, we only had 2 Fs at all. I mean, these kids are getting it done in the classroom as well. I told the school board as well, you know, we have 156 kids in our program, and we only had 6 discipline referrals the whole semester. And so, you know, it's not only about being good football players, but it's also about being well-rounded. Again, we're not perfect. We make mistakes, but I'm super proud of this group, and I'm super proud of, I know where they came from, and I know what they've, I'm sorry if I'm getting a little emotional, but when you see the time and effort that these guys put into this, and for them to come out on top, especially the Artesian, we got two schools in this town, right? And like we don't agree on a lot, but we both agree that we don't like Artesia. To beat Artesia the way we did, I mean, it's a testament to that. So I just want to thank you guys for your support. I want to thank you for your recognition, and you know, again, it's a special group, and I sincerely appreciate all the recognition. Yeah. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Hey, we're out of here.
I knew you were here somewhere. I just couldn't see you. How are you? I'm doing well. Good to see you. Good job. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, as they leave the room, I'd like to point out also there were 3 generations of the Lynn family here. Senior coach, Mr. Lynn, Jeff Lynn, the coach, and his son was also on the team this year. So 3 generations of the Lynns playing football. That's a neat thing, too.
The next item on our agenda will be to appoint an individual to fill the vacant New Mexico House seat number 59.
Sorry, I can't find my...
We've had 7 individuals submit letters of interest and resumes. The cutoff was at 5 o'clock last night, and I think all the commissioners received electronic copies of this information last night and were able to review it, and hard copies this morning. I know I read through all of the resumes last night. Several of them I went through more than once, a couple times, to get myself familiar with the information provided by each of these individuals. The clerk will read a list of the names of interested persons and state whether they are eligible.
And Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd like to point out that Will Cavan asked to remove his name this morning. So we actually have 6 individuals at this point.
Okay.
Names that were received, in the order that they were received: James C. Manat Jr., Sarah R. MacArthur, Mac Edward Dyer, Tracy De La Rosa, Mark B. Murphy, and J. Shea Wagner, I'm sorry. Looking at where they are registered to vote, all 6 people are in District 59.
Thank you.
And so, Mr. Chairman, having received the resignation of New Mexico Representative Jared Hembry on January 11th, 2025, and as required by the New Mexico Constitution, Article 4, Statute 4, it's incumbent upon the Chaves County Board of Commissioners to send forth the name of an appointee to the governor of the state of New Mexico for this elected official to complete the term, which will end December 31st, 2026. Persons requesting appointment, of course, were instructed to provide request, including full name, address, qualifications by close of business yesterday. Interested persons are going to be required to address the Board of Commissioners today to lay out their reasons for requesting consideration. And I have the numbers that they can draw so that they know the order that they're going to speak in, if that's acceptable.
Maybe our county clerk could officiate this, the drawing of the numbers by the individuals?
Mr. Chairman, each piece of paper has a number written upon it, 1 through 6. So that'll be the order that they would speak in.
We could proceed with each person, well, let's just go over how we'll handle this. Each candidate will be given up 3 to 5 minutes to speak to the commission. If you have someone that would like to, as a reference, speak on your behalf at the end of your term, they can, no more than 2 people, and they can speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And whoever has the item number, the number 1 will be the first one to speak. And when you come to the podium, please give your name and your address.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hello, my name is J. Shea Wagner. I reside at 1101 Mimosa here in Roswell. I was number 1 last time, so let's just kick this thing off. Thank you for your time. I appreciate everybody. I was born and raised in Roswell. I attended college in Las Cruces, New Mexico. While I was at college, I was hired by the Special Events Department as a forklift operator. Shortly soon after that, I was in charge of all the events at the Special Events Department, in the arena, the stadium, and being a student employee of NMSU, I had 250 people that worked for me for various concerts. I continued on after graduation. We had some stadium shows, which had 500 people working for me, and a few things changed, and I decided to leave the, NMSU. Joined GTU Wireless as a part-time sales rep, and was outperforming many of the full-time sales reps there. Within 11 months, I was in charge, was hired as their store manager in El Paso at their main store. Did that for a year. Then GTU Wireless merged with Verizon Wireless. Verizon Wireless, I moved back to Las Cruces where my house was, so I didn't have to commute. And developed a team in Las Cruces that was superior to a lot of the other stores in the area. And when I say the area, that's 750 stores in a 12-state area. I ended up being second place in the West area as a store manager. And we had to get many of the other employees from other stores to come work our stores during national or regional awards because we would all leave. That was a great, great thing. After I left there, I bumped around for a little bit, had some bad luck with places getting closed, and you can see that on my resume. Then I had the opportunity to come back to Roswell. I got to come back to Roswell to farm, because I love farming. I was born on a farm, raised on a farm, And that was the ultimate thing for me. So I've been here 17 years. While I was here, I was able to join a co-op. Our company joined a co-op, and we were the only pecan growing or pecan shelling co-op in the nation. It was pretty challenging to be on the board of directors at that point in time, to start something new in the pecan industry. And the only reason why I'm not on the board anymore is I stepped down so I could follow political aspirations. One of the other things that I got to do while I was in Roswell, I was able to join the board for Eastern New Mexico State Fair. I was there for a year, elected as treasurer, and within 9 months, something like that, COVID happened. We had some pretty contentious meetings. The president resigned, the vice president resigned, I was the treasurer. I walked up to the front of the meeting, took control of the meeting, they elected me president. We decided to have a fair, even though the governor was mandating that we all hide in a hole somewhere, wear masks, and that is the reason why I'm here today, because of the tyrannical government that we had. After three fairs, I stepped down on that from the president's position. I'm still on the board, but my qualifications, I've worked for the government, I've worked for myself, I've worked for big corporations, I've worked for small corporations. I have a wide variety of knowledge of all this thing, the government waste, the things that non-elected employees of the government, how they can mandate policy, how they can shove stuff down our throat. That is why I'm here today. I'm tired of the land-grabbing, anti-business, anti-police, pro-policy, pro-big government, anti-education, and pro-crime government this New Mexico's become. That's why I'm here today. I thank you for your time. You guys have a big choice in front of you, and I wish the best of luck for the candidate chosen. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to have speak on your behalf?
I don't have anybody,
Okay.
unless there's anybody in the audience.
Okay.
Thank you.
And who has number 2?
Commissioners, good morning. Thank you for having me. My name is Tracy De La Rosa, and I live at 3003 North Garden here in Roswell. I actually ran in the 2024 primary for this seat, so I'm glad to have another shot at it, kinda, you know. I got started in politics in 2020. It hasn't been that long, but I saw what happened during COVID. My son was sent home from school, and I was forced into homeschooling him, which I commend all teachers because I am not a teacher. That is not for me. And I started paying attention to what was going on. I actually was listening to podcasts and, you know, the basic stuff that we had time for, and I started paying attention to something that wasn't right. So I was listening to a Steve Bannon War Room. I was driving home, and he said, if you want to get involved, go to your school board meeting. So I pulled over, Googled it, and it was 6 o'clock on a Tuesday, and it was a school board meeting. And this was in July of 2021. And whenever I looked that up, I went directly to the school board meeting. I was in flip-flops and a ponytail, and I was the only parent there. This was a month before school was starting during COVID. They were trying to make decisions on masks, and I was the only parent there. So I spoke to that school board. I let them know why I was there. I let them know what my concerns were. And I started paying attention to what was just going on locally. I saw a group was having a protest on a Saturday, and they had their no mask signs and their COVID signs up, so I stopped and talked to them. And the next school board meeting, we had 150 people there. Actually, Candy Spencer spoke at that meeting for us. So we organized a bunch of people to get involved, and the school board did write a resolution for the mask mandates. In 2021, we also had provided a group that made it possible for the medical workers in Roswell to get exemptions for the vaccine. If they didn't want it, they didn't have to take it. So we provided them with a way to get that exemption. So in 2022, I saw an opportunity to run for House Representative seat 59, and that was against Greg Nyberg. I got my petitions together, and in 3 days, I had almost double the amount of signatures because of the support that I had behind me. I was disqualified because I didn't know the rules, and I understand that now, so I told myself then I'm going to go to work for the next 2 years, and I'm going to do it again. That's what I did. I went to work for the campaign of Jay Block, and we traveled all over the state, delivering signs and educating people and letting them know why we wanted this grassroots candidate to win. He didn't win there, so I went down and talked to the county clerk, and that's where I first met Cindy and started bugging them. I apologize now. Let me see. So we knew there was an election coming up. We knew we wanted to get people involved. We started registering voters then, and we held a convention because I wanted to get people excited. And in 3 weeks, I was able to put together a convention in Ruidoso with 500 people that included Mike Lindell, David Clemens, and Stephen Bannon. They were all there, and I did it with $6 and a tank of gas. They came for free, and we had 9 hours with 500 people to explain to them why we were looking into the things we were looking in for. We wanted to make sure our elections were secure, and we were wanting to make sure that New Mexico knew the issues. So in that December, after the election, that was the first election that I worked for Cindy, and that December, we saw that there was legislation going to be passed in the 2023 session that we did not agree with. This included HB 7, which allowed for gender-affirming care and reproductive care provided to children without parental consent. We knew these bills couldn't go down without a fight. We didn't have a majority or even a say-so in the House to stop them. So we put together a group for the referendum project. And we went through all of the legal battles. We knew the Secretary of State had already shot down referendums 63 times, so we had our work cut out for us. We built a team across the state. I had captains in every county that would meet once a week for a group called Kingdom Business, because that's exactly what it was. And we went to work collecting signatures. We didn't hit our first goal of 80,000, so we kept working. And by the time we were finished, we did fail, but we came up with almost 40,000 signatures. 40,000 times 6, because there were 6 bills to be passed. We worked day and night. We went to gun shows. We begged. We pleaded. I'm hoping some of you actually signed those referendum petitions. It didn't work, and we didn't get it on the ballot, and that's okay. So what I wanted to do with that referendum was give our legislators that are conservative.
We are at 5 minutes.
Okay, so I'm running again, and I've put my appointment in, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak on your behalf?
Oh, yes, I have somebody. I've got 2, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so Pat Crossley.
Hi, I'm Pat Crossley. I live at 4700 Zuni. As you heard from Tracy's own mouth, she is a mover and a shaker. If you want to know where her politics stand, she is right of Donald Trump. That puts her somewhere between Donald Trump and Attila the Hun. One comment that I would like to make, or a point I'd like to make, is that there are 2 gentlemen I understand, and I understand the rumor is that we want somebody in oil and gas. Get that, totally get that. But as I'm a oil and interest owner also, the problem is Santa Fe and the Democrats. And if you put someone up there that is a known oil and gas producer, they're immediately seen as adversary. So what are they going to get accomplished? Will they even be put on any committees that will be beneficial to the oil and gas industry. Tracy has no baggage. She has no hidden agenda. She has no oil and gas interest. She's not going to be seen as an adversary. She is going to represent the people of Chaves County. I know two of the gentlemen that are being considered. I have the highest respect for them. Being in the oil and gas industry, I've known them as friends for many, many years. But like me, my oil and gas production is in Lee and Eddy County. I have no oil and gas production in Chaves County, and I would suspect that they have very little production also. So we need somebody to
Your
represent.
2 minutes is up now.
We need somebody to represent Chaves County. Thank you.
Thank you. I see I just made it in time. My name is Margaret Rodriguez, and I am so proud to be here to endorse Tracy for this position. I believe she has all the qualities that we need to have representing Chaves County. I think most of you know I'm very involved in the pro-life ministry, so I care about children born and unborn. And so does Tracy, but that's not the only area that she is focused on. This recent flooding situation, I don't know how many of us have gone actually door to door, speaking to the houses, to the people in homes that have been very devastated by the flood, offering resources that she can arrange for them or have provided personally to them. That's really working in the trenches. The first time I met Tracy was during the COVID control that we had on the state. It was at a school board meeting, and I was just so impressed with this young woman. Here she was. I felt new to the scene. I've been to many school board meetings as I'm a retired teacher and very interested in the welfare of our children. Tracy gave a presentation that was so knowledgeable about the facts of children being forced to wear masks all the time, isolation for the high school children, being isolated from their peers. It's all coming to be revealed now that Tracy knew what she was talking about. And then when we had the statewide referendum project.
Your 2 minutes is up.
Is my time up?
Your time is up.
Sorry, but nobody worked harder than Tracy at that. She set up groups all over the state getting signatures. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
She has all the qualities.
I have number 3. My name is Mark Murphy. I live at 507 Vial Bond, and I'm seeking the Commission's recommendation for the appointment to the New Mexico State House of Representatives District 59, following the resignation of State Representative and my dear friend Jared Hembry. I'm a son of Roswell, and the southeast community has always been my home. My family moved here in the early 1960s, and I grew up in a house just a few blocks from Washington Avenue Elementary School, which I attended. Later graduated from Goddard High School, attended and graduated from New Mexico Institute of Mining and Technology, also known as New Mexico Tech. The first home I bought was at 8th and Penn, just a few blocks from the convention center and the museum. So I know that area well, and I know the impact that the flood has had on it. I'm a business owner. I own Strata Production Company. We're a family-owned, small, independent oil and gas operator based here in Roswell since 1988. We produce all over the state, but primarily in southeast New Mexico. Current production is roughly 6,000 barrels a day. For those that don't think about this in oil field terms, that's about 250,000 gallons a day. Every one of us in this room has been impacted by the flooding, and that is one of the reasons and one of the principal reasons that I'm standing here asking to be considered for this appointment. In meeting with city and county officials, community leaders over the last couple of days, this is a staggering amount of damage, something on the order of $375 to $400 million. It's going to take somewhere around $95 million to even get started. And we're going to have to go to the legislature to get most of that, I suspect. But this is not the only issue that's affecting our community. We have attacks on our core industries, and by that I mean agriculture, oil and gas. We have had no new mines that I'm aware of approved in this state in decades. They've devastated the timber industry, and these are all things that I plan to fight against. On public safety, we all know what crime and illegal immigrants have done in this state. We see one of the most dangerous cities in the world as being Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's just unacceptable. On economic development, there's been a lot of progress made, and I really commend all of the leadership and those people that have led to the Roswell/Reno air races. One of my first jobs after I got a driver's license was to work as a lineman at Roswell Airlines. And if you don't know what a lineman is, you sweep the hangar and you gas up airplanes. I also was a student pilot and later earned my private pilot's license. So I know a little bit about aviation as well. The last issue I'd like to hit is education. And we know the problems. We have great teachers, but we've got a broken system and it needs to be addressed. I have a real place in my heart for education, as my mom was an elementary school teacher. My oldest sister was a teacher as well. I've also been very active in this community in addressing the special needs of many of our community's children. I will support more local control over our schools and fight against mandates from Santa Fe that hurt our families and our children. I believe money should follow the kids, and that's where I plan to push. For over 4 decades as a private citizen and business owner, I've been deeply involved in the state's political and legislative process, and therefore I'm no stranger to working on these issues. I know and have relationships on both sides of the aisle. As a matter of fact, when I was president of IPAA, IPA&M, Independent Petroleum Association in New Mexico, most of our bills were sponsored by Democrats and Republicans, so I do know how to work across the aisle. I bring to the Roundhouse not only necessary experience to start working on day one, which will be next Tuesday, but also having the experience and relationships with so many in Santa Fe. I think I truly believe I can effectively represent the some 31,000 residents of District 59, but more broadly, everybody in Chaves County and Roswell and the surrounding communities. I'll take any questions or I guess.
Mr. Murphy, do you have anyone that wants to speak on your behalf?
I believe I do.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hailing from Artesia this morning, I'm a little under stress right now from, so, you know, Michael's comment about dominated just because it was kind of hard. You know?
I had to get my gigs in when I could.
Yeah, but with that said, I told Robin sitting there watching the boys come in this morning, that's a class act. They did a good job and they deserve it. So, thank you. Commissioners, I'm here this morning to talk to you about your decision that you have before you today to replace a good friend of mine, Jared Hembry. The legislature is kind of in turmoil right now, and I will tell you that we have lost a number of oil and gas people, Greg Nybert, Larry Scott, Jared Hembry, and our energy committee is without. I'll just be real honest. I had a call from Gail Armstrong, who is the minority floor leader, a position I held for a number of years, and Rod Montoya, who's a ranking energy member. And they said, Jim, if you're involved in helping with Jared's replacement, make sure you send somebody that knows oil and gas from one end to the other. We need desperately some help in oil and gas. So the legislature starts next week. It's not a lot of time. We need somebody who's going to hit the ground running and not have need for a learning curve. We need them to be able to do it and do it right. That's why I'm standing here today endorsing and hoping that you will select Mark Murphy, because I believe he is the most qualified and most experienced person that I've seen on the list, and I hope you select him. The legislature needs that experience in Santa Fe. Thank you very much. And I'll answer any question except about football.
Thank you, Jim.
I have copies of a more in-depth statement
If you'd like to hand that out, yes.
I can now.
Yes.
My name is Bill Marley, 45 West Crossroads. Ma'am, gentlemen, it's a pleasure to address you on Mark's behalf. I've known Mark for approximately 40 years. I've known him to be honest, intelligent, and full of wisdom. I've been in meetings at Mark's office where he's had Tom Cotton come in, had people that from all walks of our industries here in southeast New Mexico, not just oil and gas, but also agriculture, dairy, ranchers, farmers, so we could put our 2 cents in to address what our issues are over in DC. I know Mark keeps a pretty good finger on the pulse of what's going on in our nation and in our county and in our state. I believe that he would carry this wisdom to Santa Fe and would represent us in a fair and honest manner that we would be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you. And whoever has number 4.
Good morning. I'm Jim Manat. I live at 700 North Kentucky, and we're here in Roswell. Friends, this is an offer to volunteer, to take the time, emotion, effort, leadership to diligently represent Chavez County in the unfortunate circumstance of my neighbor Jared Hembry's resignation. Chavez County has a crisis of representation. It has started as a slow leak over the last several years. Over the last 2 reapportionments, our Senate representation has been diluted, our House representation has been diluted. We have been divided into 3 congressional districts, and now our very effective sole and only single county representative has found it necessary to resign, leaving a deep void. It's a humbling and somewhat intimidating experience to stand before you, my neighbors, my friends, and the community as a whole, to be assessed and judged. I'm not here for ego. I'm not here for personal gain. I'm not here because I need a job. I'm here to humbly offer to help in a time of need. If the commission and the community wants somebody that knows how to hit the ground running in Santa Fe next week, at least one of my experiences, you have my resume, that may differentiate me from the other surely qualified and respectable interested parties is my past service as Republican staff member in Santa Fe. I worked as minority staff director for House Minority Leaders Tom Hoover and Hoyt Pattison. I sat in the Republican caucus. I had floor access. I've helped recruit and train and win legislative races here and across New Mexico. I've seen how the sausage is made in the roundhouse, up close and personal, how things work. I know where the restrooms are. I know how to use the Legislative Council service. I've been confirmed twice by the New Mexico Senate for major gubernatorial appointments. Jared has been, and his replacement will be, in the minority. Minority members, as Commissioner Dana can attest, walk a delicate balance. Jared has done an exemplary job, as has Dara. On the one hand, a minority member must hold to his principles and moral conviction. But on the other hand, you have to get along with enough of the majority to get something done and bring home some bacon. So what would I do for you now and for my constituents? Well, Our community and our county are hurting like never before. I ride the Spring River Bike Trail every day. I witness the destruction that we're suffering. It's depressing. One of the things I would like to focus on for our community and our county are seeking additional new funding sources, public and private, to aid in financial recovery. I'd like to find out what resources are available that we haven't tapped yet on a national and state basis, privately, publicly, to build protective flood control systems to prevent certain future floods. Other focus points include crime, gangs, immigration, education, law enforcement funding, water and agricultural interests. These are matters where perhaps some common ground can be found with the majority to work out opportunities for Chaves County and District 59. I believe that I have the tact, the maturity, and the diplomacy to talk to the other side and plan to do so, share viewpoints, and seek some common ground. With a strong background in New Mexico higher education, I will tell you that our problems start in New Mexico's primary educational system. They proliferate through our secondary system, many kids either dropping out or when they arrive at our universities, poorly equipped for what they're about to undertake. At New Mexico State University, we have to remediate as much as 30% of our incoming freshmen in either math or English. We've got a big problem. What are the solutions? Well, classroom discipline, teacher accountability to a point, parental accountability, moreover, student accountability. My guiding values: I believe in Jesus Christ as my Savior and yours. I believe in a strict reading of the Second Amendment, the American right to keep and bear arms. I believe that no one has a right to take the life of an unborn child. I'm a proud veteran. I welcome the opportunity to listen to your suggestions now or later, answer your questions, take up your ideas. I didn't know that I had the opportunity to ask someone to speak.
5 minutes is...
And I don't have anybody to speak, so I stand for it before you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Number 5.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me or having me. I appreciate it. My name is Sarah MacArthur. I live at 609 Mimosa Drive. Everybody's already stolen a lot of my thunder. I was going to bring up all those excellent points, but Jim, thanks for covering all those bases, and Mark, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I will tell you that I am a Democrat, and everyone's probably laughing inside like, why is she here? Because we need representation in the process, and I feel like I can't get anyone to run for any of the offices or any of the local, the school board, or anything of that nature. And as the county chair here in this party, I'm pleased that we did have a number of voters that were, it was a higher percentage of voters, and Martin Heinrich really swooped up a lot of voters in Democratic standards. So those are all important things, but had I not stood up here today to talk to you, then the answer is that you would have just been met with Republicans, and that seems not correct, because we do live in a country that's supposed to have at least 2 political parties, at least. And so when a county is 70% Republican and I can't even get anyone to run for a local office, then I'm here. Will I do a good job? You betcha. Day one, absolutely. I'm a veteran. I have a college degree in graphic design, which means nothing, but I worked for the state as both a county director for 10 years and as an administrative law judge. I know my way around policies. I know my way around the roundhouse. I know where the bathrooms are. And I just feel like, I should tell you, in the military, I was also in the reserve unit, the 469th Group up in Albuquerque, and their mission was in the European theater. And the mission was to distribute oil and gas if there was a war in Europe that didn't go by pipeline. So that meant it went by barge or it went by other things. So I know a little bit about oil and gas. I know that, jet fuel is lighter than crude oil. I know that let's see, if you drive a tanker that is empty, it's more dangerous than one that's full. I think I know a little bit about it. But do I know all the ins and outs of everything about the state government? The answer is probably not. But I can read, and I'm pretty intelligent, and I'm a quick thinker. So I will tell you that my goal is to bring back money to this part of the state. And one of the things that's important to know is maybe you should send somebody up there that doesn't go to an after legislative session at a roundhouse type of a thing that says, well, we worked really hard, but we didn't get any money down here. So maybe send somebody up there that might bring some money back down here, especially in light of the fact that we had the floods. And I spent a month cleaning out the Roswell Museum. It's devastating. It's horrible. I spent time at the mini museum that had a leak and from the flood. And I spent a lot of time, those are cultural things that our community really should focus on and be in, really try and build them back up. That collection that we have at the Roswell Museum, and I just want to say Carolyn Brooks is the right person for the job for that. And so I just know that when you turn in 40% of the state's budget from this area, then you should be able to get back a significant amount of money. And I think that we've been shorted. We haven't done the job to get the money returned down here for a while, and that's because Democrats have been really crappy, and when they reapportioned everything, I wasn't pleased with that, and I'm a Democrat. I wasn't happy with that. I think it undermined our county, and we did lose seats, and I was going to bring that up. Thanks, Jim. And we lost the ability to get that split seat, and it went to a man up in, is it Roosevelt County, I believe? And so that's not good for our representation. That's not good for the people that need to be represented. When you have just one political party that represents 70% of the things, then very often those people's needs, those voters that are not on that same side, their needs are not being met. And I'm not saying that I'm going to choose one side or another, because I think I'm frankly, interested in taking care of business. I want clean air, I want clean water, I want us to be able to make money, but I don't want to leave people behind while we're doing it. And I don't want to have to pay so many taxes that we're just devastated. So
Your 5 minutes.
and I'm done, and I just want to make sure you got a Democrat up here.
Do you have anyone that was like to
I
speak?
didn't know I was allowed to. Anybody can jump up and say, wow, she's a girl.
Oh my gosh.
My name is Mac Dyer. I reside at number 1 Del Norte Drive. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. It's an honor to even be considered for the position. My hat's off to the other applicants, that are willing to serve the community. You have my resume and letter with some background information in the packet, so I'll be brief on the history of me unless you have any questions. I was born and raised in Roswell, graduate of Goddard High School. Upon graduation, I departed town and served 21 years in the Army and returned back home upon my retirement. I've been in the oil and gas industry since my retirement, except for a brief 3-year stint as a safety manager for U.S. Customs and Border Protection in El Paso. I'm currently a safety consultant for ExxonMobil and was with Devon Energy and Agave Energy prior to that. I'm also a small business owner here in Chaves County. And I feel that some of the top priorities we face and will face is helping to deregulate or at least prevent additional regulatory requirements on our energy sector, defending our Second Amendment rights, taking care of our veterans, infrastructure improvement and restoration from the flooding, and of course crime reduction and education improvement. I grew up in the oil and gas industry, my family did, and it provided a quality upbringing for myself, and it's provided a quality upbringing for my son as well as thousands and thousands of other Chaves County residents. And the attacks on the oil and gas industry, which is a major way of life here in southeast New Mexico, seems to be an annual event with our lawmakers. And I fear our lawmakers will attempt to add even more regulations to hinder progress in the state even more over the next several years due to President-elect Trump's pledge to drill, baby, drill. And attacks on our Second Amendment rights have been going on for years, and I'm sure they will continue for the foreseeable future. And we must stay vigilant in its defense. Veteran advocacy, particularly combat veteran advocacy, is a near and dear subject to my heart. As a veteran of 2 wars, I understand the toll that our nation's veterans have paid. Our state population is approximately 8% veteran, which is twice the national average. You know, I've had the opportunity to advocate in Washington, D.C. for our veterans, and I feel that what we can do back here at home at the state level and local level can provide much more impact on their lives. I've helped create the state level legislative advocacy program for the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and I currently serve as the chairman of that committee. And if appointed to this position, I got the first bill I would sponsor right here. It's a bill to prevent claim sharks from taking advantage of our state's veterans, their spouses, and orphans of children. The floods devastated our country, our county, and we have a long road ahead. Some of our people lost everything. Many lost something, including several lives. But the way our first responders and the National Guard and our community rallied around each other might be the proudest moment and the most grateful I've ever been as a Chaves County citizen. You know, we must maximize our capital outlay money, bring back some of that oil and gas revenue we send up north, and build back Chaves County safer and better than ever. We must provide our law enforcement officers the tools and the funding to continue to do the outstanding work they do every day. You know, we need to get to work, get the state out of our education, kids' education, and get God and the parents back in it. You know, I'm tired of New Mexico being ranked number 49 or number 50 on every list there is out there in the country. We have to change that mindset. And I believe the person that holds this position we are here for today needs 2 key abilities: availability and credibility. They need to be available to their constituents, and they must be able to provide citizens that they're supporting and serving updated and accurate information in a timely manner, and they must value the feedback from the citizens, and they must work both with them and for them. You know, I want to be a conduit for progress here in Chaves County, setting a positive example for the young men and women in our community, including my 15-year-old son, you know, so they'll want to serve our community and our nation in the future. I'm not an experienced politician, nor do I want to be. Although I did campaign across our great state last year to be elected as the VFW state chaplain and later on as their state junior vice commander. And I thought it was quite an accomplishment, if I must say so myself, because have you ever got 10,000 grumpy old veterans to agree on anyone or anything? Thank you for your time. If there are any questions, if anybody has, I don't have anybody to speak for me.
Thank you, Mr. Dyer. Do you have anyone that wants to speak on your behalf?
No, sir.
Well, that concludes the presentations. At this point, I would ask if any of the commissioners have any questions or discussion before we entertain a motion.
I have a couple questions for candidates, if that'd be okay.
Yes.
I lived in Roswell all my life, so I know most of the candidates, and I know some of the situations there are, but there's a couple that I don't. And I have a question for Ms. De La Rosa, if I could. It's really just a short question, because I don't know you that well, but at this time, can you give your full time and attention, as you will be in Santa Fe for the next 60, 65 days, can you give your full attention? It's a financial commitment.
Yeah, my son, my youngest son, he's 20 years old, so I don't have any children at home. I work for hospice. My husband's a journeyman here in Roswell, and I've already spoken with my boss, Chelsea Samario, who's going to make any accommodation for me that she can to do anything I need remotely if I need to do it. So, anyone else? I stand for any questions. And by the way, it was 50,000 signatures, not 40,000. I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Perry, do you have anything else?
I don't have anything. I have one more question from another candidate.
Okay.
Mr. Murphy, if I may. It's kind of a funny question, but I just saw a news article on Wallet Hub, believe it or not. And we're ranked 50th, the worst place to raise a family in the United States. The key metrics are the median family income, crime rate, school quality, and health care, to name a few. What would you do in the legislature to make suggestions to reverse these trends?
Well, I think you have to start with many of the basics that I talked about, and that is we've got to get crime under control, because we're not going to be able to attract talent and companies. Ultimately, we need to be able to provide, there needs to be good paying jobs available, right? That's the bottom line. And poverty leads to so many things: addiction, be it drug or alcohol abuse, domestic violence, so many of those things. So I think we have to address crime, education, healthcare. If you don't have those, then it's very difficult to attract companies. And so all of those things have to be addressed. And obviously the most immediate need here in the county is we just have some very basic infrastructure needs as a result of the flood. So in terms of starting next week and over the next 60 days, I think that's got to be the priority. But over the long term, I think you have to work on those other issues. And primarily, there's one thing to promote, and that's certainly what needs to be done. But at the same time, with the attacks that we have on agriculture and oil and gas, we've got to stop the bleeding as well. And so shutting a lot of there's a number of bills that have either been pre-filed or we know that they're coming that will absolutely be devastating to those core industries. And so beating back that and then working on job creation. I mean, the Roswell-Reno Air Show, I think is a very exciting opportunity, because when you have that much economic stimulus come into an area, there's going to be business opportunities. There's going to be small businesses that can be created. I think there's a lot of things that can be done there. Perhaps microloan programs, because many times people have the will, the desire to start their own business, but they don't have that initial seed capital. As an explorationist, we continue to drill what we call wildcat wells. We allocate a portion of our budget to doing just that. We know that most of them won't hit, but the ones that do make significant discoveries. And so, we need to be thinking about some innovative things to get businesses going.
Thank you.
I would just like to make one comment. I've received information that the representative that we send to Santa Fe will be assigned to the Energy Committee and to the Commerce and Economic Development Committee.
I have a question for one of the candidates, Mr. Dyer. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for your service. My father was Army, fought in Korea. As a veteran, you have worked with the state and others around, and thank you for the statistics on veterans. I don't think people understand that our state has quite a few, and they are a force to be reckoned with. But in working with the state and the other organizations, do you believe our state is doing enough for veterans?
No, ma'am. I mean, we haven't done enough for our veterans. We're still trying to make up for the way the Vietnam veterans were brought back and treated. We haven't overcome that yet. We just came out of a 20-year war. And there's a serious mental health crisis in this country, but it's even more so in our veteran population. 20 years of war, multiple deployments. PTSD is a major issue out there, and the statistics are growing. 22 a day has kind of been the number that's been floating around for a few years. It's depends on who you look at and who you talk to. It's a little bit higher or it's a little bit lower, just depending on the population. But if you look at New Mexico, the stats in New Mexico, it's even higher than the national average. A lot of it's due to economic situations, and like I talked about the bill that we're going to push up through the legislature this year on the claim sharks. There's organizations and people that are taking advantage of the veterans, trying to get help out there, and they're charging them 40-50% of any kind of benefit or whatever they're trying to get out there, and it pushes people over the edge when they can't get the help they need through the VA or the Department of New Mexico's VA system. You know, we're struggling out there every day. I deal with them on a daily basis, and they're a major part of the society out there all across the state, and we're not doing enough.
I'm glad you brought that up because that issue has been an issue since I have been in the legislature. And we cannot seem to agree that it is loan sharking. It's ridiculous.
Yes, ma'am. There's 7. We've got it through 7 states that passed laws, and
Right.
it's helped dramatically. We're still fighting it on the national
Right.
level, but I think we can get it through here in the state.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you working with and knowing Representative Bob Woolley. Bob was a great advocate for our veterans, and we've lost that in the legislature.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I appreciate that, and I hope you continue to be a voice for veterans, because I truly believe, I know, I tried to get help through the state of New Mexico for my own father. And the guy that helped me was working at home. He admitted it. And then told me there was nothing he could do for my father except for go put him in the home in Tier C. That's ridiculous.
Yes, ma'am.
That's ridiculous. We
Yep.
need to help our veterans.
Yes,
They
we have
were
to
the
do better.
first line of freedom, like you said. And all we can do is put them in a home. Get real. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I want you to continue to be a voice for veterans. And I'll stand right beside you for my father. Thank you, Mr. Dyer.
Thank you.
If we have no further discussion.
Well,
we-
hold on.
You have?
I don't have any questions for you, but I do have a question for Mr. Matt.
Mr. Korn also has some.
I have a few questions I need to ask a couple of people, so.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Murphy,
Yes, Commissioner.
so we've been talking a lot about oil and gas, and oil and gas is second, I guess, in the state, but to agriculture. On the ag side of it, and even the oil and gas side of it, the endangered species things that we're going through, how do you see some of these issues going on the wolf introduction and that sort of stuff migrating our way? Is there a way that, you could help to prevent some of this happening, or is there a way to possibly get some verbiage in there where we as a county are protected from whether it's the wolf or the lizard or the bird or a squirrel or whatever? How do you see all of this coming?
Well, I think the trend has been bad and has been getting worse, right? Through the last, especially through this last federal administration. With the new administration coming in, I think there'll be a lot of federal support on pushing, first not starting those things, and secondly pushing back or basically tabling many of the current. We deal with this in the oil and gas industry all the time, from the prairie chicken to everything else, and it really takes a lot of industry support, as you know, to challenge these things. We've been successful in some cases and not in others. When I was on the Public Lands Advisory Council under Secretary Lujan, we did a lot of work on the Endangered Species Act. I actually wrote a paper on it, and we found that there was actually pretty broad partisan support, especially in the delisting section. But unfortunately, to my knowledge, those things have never been done. But it would certainly be a priority, I think, given the president, the incoming president, and the fact that the two houses are also controlled by Republicans. That may be the opportunity to get some of that, some common sense back into that law.
That way we can push back on
Yes, sir.
some of that.
I think that's the way we'll have to do it.
Okay. Another thing is on some of the water issues that are happening within the county. What do you see happening in some of this? I mean, we've had some state stuff last year that was introduced on the brackish or saline waters. The governor's trying to do something down in this end of the state. How can we protect our farmers or our oil and gas industry? How do you see that going down?
You know, that's the latest grab, right? I mean, originally it was going after the land, and now they figured out that they can go after the water and control the land and the industries. And I don't have a good answer for you on that. I don't know, but it's certainly something that is also very important. I understand, dealing in the oil and gas industry, I understand the state engineer's office, how water rights are appropriated and so forth. One of the things that I think that the state should push back on are some of the flows going out of the state. Believe it or not, I have a geology background, which includes some hydrology. And the Ogallala Aquifer, which exists on the east side of the state, is actually dips into Texas. And so there's water flowing from New Mexico into Texas every day that we don't get any credit for under the compacts. So there's some innovative things like that I think that we ought to begin to push. And we ought to do everything we can to hold on to our water, whether it's the governor that's trying to get it, or whether it's perhaps adjoining states that are getting it.
So do you think for us farmers, a reclassification as to how the definition of water is, being water is a
strategic resource, I think, perhaps.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out how the farmers can possibly get in there and kind of reclassify water as a mineral instead of, because water is clear, odorless, tasteless substance. So what I'm getting at is there a way that possibly, we could get the water reclassified? And if we got it reclassified, then the farmers, I feel like the farmers should have more control of the water than what the state does. Everything they do, they're trying to redesign everything that's happening in this end of the state, and we need to protect it. And I'm just wondering how you feel about some of that. So
no, I agree with that, and I know at the federal level there's been times when certain minerals have been declared strategic, and so therefore, it would take a priority over some other use or substance or whatever, and so that might be a path. I think we will all agree that if we don't have ample fresh water, we're not going to have anything to eat and drink, right? And so I think we have to start with that, and it certainly seems like agriculture is the priority in that degree.
Okay.
And it's something, I'll also say that the oil and gas industry is advancing very rapidly on, is going to brackish and saltwater type of, and limiting its use of fresh water.
Okay. On the some of the crime bills that are kind of being presented and that sort of stuff, how you feel about some of those?
To be honest, I haven't read them. I've only heard about them, but I do know that the general sentiment from my discussions with friends in Santa Fe is that it's a priority of the governor's to get a crime bill done, and I think that's an opportunity to get a good crime bill done, because she's going to have a lot of her own caucus that probably won't support some of the things that would take the support of the other side of the aisle, the Republican side of the aisle, to get passed. So I see it as an opportunity to perhaps begin to addressing the crime situation.
Okay. Issues on the, what the president's done on the border, or will be doing on the border wall. When he starts, if he starts deporting all these people, are we gonna have a larger issue with like in the oil patch or even the farms and that sort of stuff? How do you see possibly the flow of people trying to run away, trespass? How do you feel on trespass issues? I mean, do you I don't know how to put it. You know, us as private individuals, you know, if we see somebody trespassing, you know, we kind of just go ahead and run them off.
Sure.
But I know in the oil patch, there's probably been a lot of stuff stolen. For your Second Amendment rights, I mean, are you going to have possibly your people carrying more firearms or something? I mean, I'm trying to get it. You know,
Sure.
There's going to be a lot of people starting to stir around. If he's starting to deport people, you know, we're going to start seeing a flow of them trying to get away. And I just wanted to kind of know how you feel about some of these issues.
Sure. Well, yeah, no, you know, we have trespass issues in the oil field as well. And so, you know, any of those, I mean, to the degree that we can get them prosecuted, we try to. Let me break this down in a couple of things. One is I'll say that, you know, securing the border is a real priority of the incoming administration, as you know, I'm sure. I have some insight into the deportation plans, and that is that some of the fear-mongering out there about families being separated and all of that stuff, I think is absolute nonsense. The administration, the incoming administration, is not going to be cruel and inhumane about these types of things. I've spoken to many of the incoming president's leadership on these types of issues. And the focus is going to be on criminals, ones that either should have already been deported or ones that have committed crimes and need to be deported. I think that, as the president has said, and incoming president has said, is that this system also has to have ample compassion. And so I think that if, you know, people may be here illegally, but if they are not committing crimes, they don't have a whole lot to fear about, you know, some sort of immediate action. They probably need to start working on their citizenship or working on, you know, whatever the appropriate path is. On guest workers programs, we've got to have a vibrant guest worker program, both for agriculture and oil and gas. And so we need a very strong, stable immigration policy and a robust policy. The dairies depend upon it. Oil and gas depends upon it. With respect to crime and other things in the oil field, being a small business owner, I have the pleasure of setting policy for my company, and I know that most large companies prevent their employees from carrying firearms. Now, I grew up in the oil field. I was a roustabout relief pumper, worked a number of jobs. And so I've always said that the best job in the oil field is being a pumper, because you get to carry a 12-gauge shotgun during quail season. And so I encourage my field employees to take whatever action they deem necessary to protect themselves. I don't require they carry a handgun, but company policy would not prevent it. We had an incident 6 weeks ago where one of our employees was in the field and caught 2 truck drivers stealing approximately $10,000 worth of oil. We notified the sheriff, county sheriff in Eddy County, and the Bureau of Land Management. and they've been pursuing that. But it was a very dangerous situation, middle of the night, in the road, by himself. And we are getting, and this is happening all the time, and it's probably cartel related from some of the information that we've gotten so far. So it is going to be a dangerous situation, I think, until we can get the border secure, get these criminals out, and allow law enforcement to do their job.
Okay. So do you plan on making this a career, or
I'm going to give.
Are you in it for the long haul?
My plan. Well, let me say it this way. My plan is to stand for re-election at the end of the term, but I'm going to give a great deal of deference to Jared Hembry, and I would not run against Jared if he decided to run. And he would only run, I know, if he felt like he could do the job and his health, would allow him to.
Okay.
I feel like that he was elected this position by the voters. I appreciate your all's consideration in sending me up there, but as I say, I give a lot of deference to what Jared's wishes will be.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Wagner?
Yes, sir.
So some of these issues that we just talked about, can you answer some of how all that went for the endangered species stuff and the water, and just like what Mr. Murphy had to answer?
Well, like the endangered species, whenever you have non-elected officials going out in the middle of the wintertime to find a lizard, to do a population on a lizard or a prairie chicken when there's snow on the ground, they're not going to be moved around, and then all of a sudden they classify it as an endangered species. That has to stop. They're non-elected officials. They're making policy, killing industry, killing agriculture, killing oil and gas. It's throughout everything. You have people that are in education making policies that don't make sense. I will stand up for all of that. Oil and gas, you can't have agriculture without oil and gas. You can't live if you don't eat. Well, I mean, everybody's got a plastic bottle up there that all comes from oil and gas. People don't realize where that stuff comes from. You have a bottle of tea up there that came from agriculture. Water is a right. It's a right in New Mexico. We will do everything we can to protect that right. I'm excited about our oil and gas, looking for other opportunities with brackish water or salty water or something like that to do the fracking. We have to have fracking. We have to have exploration. So with that, there are so many things that are wrong with the state. Really, to tell you the truth, it would take the team of us to go up there and make an impact. Everybody that's walked up here. To my Democratic candidate, the Democrats are in charge. Ask them to get some money down here. That's what we need. We need everybody asking other people in other counties, the Rio Grande Corridor, get on your phone to your friends, make some noise. We have to protect New Mexico. Yes, we have to protect Chavez County, but the whole state's going downhill. Does that answer enough of your questions?
I think that's pretty good, yes.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ms. De La Rosa? Some of the same stuff.
Thank you. So one of the things that we did in the past year or so is we've been working on an ordinance for different counties, and we did get it passed in a few, and that was to codify the Enabling Act. Codifying the Enabling Act what we hope will do is put into put into place a way to use federal regulation instead of state regulation if we're no longer being represented by what the governor is doing and if we don't agree with her. We want to give the counties and our sheriffs and our commissions the power to speak for our counties. So if there are laws that are passed and they're trying to enforce, like the safety acts that they try to enforce in taking away gun rights, there's a bill being proposed right now. I believe it's House Bill 38. And what that is an extension of the red flag laws, and it will allow police officers to write a petition for a person that they're involved with an action, and they will be able to take away their gun rights for a year. Without a trial, without a judge, without anybody else being involved, the cops can just write out. They can not only do it on being there, they can do it on recommendation. So if someone comes to them and says, this is what's going on, we want you to take their guns. This is being proposed in legislation right now, and it's overreach. I don't believe that has any place in our systems. Now, I do believe that police, my sister-in-law is the chief of police here, and my brother-in-law is in Roswell. So I know what the police go through. They do need the power to do their jobs, and we need to let them do that. But I don't see a need to have them write a petition to take away gun rights on a recommendation. So the Enabling Act was our way. I think we passed it in Baca and a couple of other counties to help protect our commissions and our sheriffs. Because what I see with all of these bills is overreach. In gas and oil, they're trying to stop production in child health zones. That means within a mile of the school, you can't drill for oil. Well, what if there's an independent oil person with private land? You're going to tell them that they can't want to do what they want cleanly and safely by producing oil on that land because of a child health zone. This is stuff that's going in now. And just like with the referendum and the 6 bills that we wanted to refer before, this is overreach, using stuff like the resolutions and ordinances and the referendum. We can stop the Democrats and the radical bills that they're passing. I'm all for reaching across the aisle and working with people that I don't agree with and don't get along with, but I want to work on the ground level. I want to work with the people. I'm not an expert in oil and gas. I'm not an expert at any of that. If I have a question, I'm going to call Pat Crossley. I mean, that's usually what I do. I am an expert when it comes to medical care. And I do know that when our elderly have worked their whole lives in their Medicaid, and not Medicare, if they're Medicare recipients and not Medicaid, their families will not be paid to take care of them when they're home and dying. I see it every single day. But if you qualify for Medicaid and you don't have any property, your family will get paid $24 an hour to stay home and take care of you. My grandfather went through that. He was the fire chief here. He had to almost lose everything he had to be put into Mission Arch because we couldn't stay home with him. That's happening every day, and they're putting forth bills right now to increase the payments to Medicaid for those caregivers, not to Medicare. We need to take care of people on the ground. I understand gas and oil is a priority. We have lobbyists for that. One thing I'm really good at is building teams. I can put together a team of people that can go across the state with no money and with no support, and I can get things done and I can get things moved. Imagine what I could do with representative in front of my name. Thank you. Any other questions?
I think that'll do it.
Thank you.
Mr. Manat.
Yes, sir.
So if you can kind of answer some of those same questions that I asked Mr. Murphy and the rest of them.
Well, my oil and gas firm is an upstream firm. We're scientists, and my team includes a PhD geologist, geophysicist, a master's geophysicist. My background is geophysics. We have an excellent oil and gas lawyer, and we have a vice chairman of the American Association of Petroleum Landmen that represents us on land issues. But we're scientists. We don't operate. What we do is we use geology, geophysics, petrophysics, geochemistry, hydrology to create prospects. And then we sell them to lucky guys like Mark. Today we're in negotiation with a group in Fort Worth on a project that has the potential here in New Mexico. It's a new basin, 800 million barrels potential. We're working on a leasehold of somewhere between 100,000 to 350,000 acres. That said, so I can't respond as a user of water. In our project, actually, we have an agreement with a group that have, amazingly, 100,000 feet rights to the deep saline water in the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District, and it's an adjudicated right. So we will have water. The one thing I wanted you to know about, our rig count in New Mexico is about 100 right now, and 98 of them are horizontal. So if Benny Shundu, senator from the Pueblos, or Senator Antoinette Cedillo, who's a retired lawyer, law teacher at UNM, if they succeed in some of these bills to ban fracking, the industry goes away. I mean, they can go 5 miles over the border into Texas and drill exactly what they're drilling up here. So we have to maintain a good environment. As far as fracking goes, it's 70% water, 29% mud, and 1% of these fancy chemicals that help keep the fractures in the prop open. The idea that Governor Lujan is proposing, $75 million for brackish water treatment, I think it's the best idea she's ever had. I don't give her credit for having a lot of good ideas, but that's one of them. And it's $75 million is not enough to get it done, but $75 million is a good start. It could create a very useful methodology for industry. Industry doesn't want to pollute. Industry wants to remediate the water for agricultural application.
We don't.
No, let me have another question.
We got quite a lot of things to do, so let's speed it up a little.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I think I'm done.
Okay. Commissioner Perry, do you have any more comment?
No, sir, thank you.
Anybody else? No other discussion. I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we appoint Mark Murphy to House Seat 59.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I second.
We have a
Mr.
motion.
Chairman, I ask for a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Cindy, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Dana.
No.
Commissioner Wade.
Yes.
Commissioner Corn.
Pass for the moment.
Say again?
Pass for the moment.
Pass for the moment. Yes.
Commissioner Perry, yes. And
Yes.
Chairman Taylor, yes. So you have 3 yeses, 1 no, and 1 pass.
Mr. Murphy's name will now go to the governor as selected by the Chaves County Commission to represent District 59.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just a point of order. It doesn't have to be appointed down by the governor since it's a one. Within the county, only the county commission actually selects, so the name goes to the Secretary of State.
Yeah, and I have the letter prepared, the same one that we approved last time, stating as such.
Thank you.
I know you have a lot to do, but I want to thank each of you for your support and for listening to not only me, but all of the candidates. I want to thank you for all of the work that you do on behalf of all of us. I also will pledge to you that I will represent all of the citizens of Chaves County and my district in particular, be they Republican, Democrat, Independent, or declined to stay. But once again, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are we ready to move on, or do you want to give a second to clear? Did you want to give a second to clear the room? Sorry, man.
Yeah, we'll take a few minute recess here for the room to clear, and then we'll get on to the rest of the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
How do we go about this?
Just, we signed our deaths in, so.
Have you tell them.
Any one of them would do an excellent job.
Well, I was looking more for volunteer. I'm not telling you, just in case. And I just thought maybe I needed to ask some of those questions.
I'm glad you did, because it helped.
Okay, all commissions are back present. We'll resume the meeting and go back to our agenda.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 1, or agenda item number 2, formerly number 1, maybe I should say, is a public hearing on the question of whether a property tax rebate benefiting low-income property taxpayers in the county should be made available through an adoption of a county ordinance. According to Section 7-2-143G NMSA 1978, in every odd-numbered year, the Board of County Commissioners shall conduct a public hearing on the question of whether a property tax rebate benefiting low-income property taxpayers in the county should be made available through a county ordinance. The problem with this rebate to low-income property taxpayers is twofold. First, who actually qualifies as low income? That has not been established. The procedure to qualify is set out in Section 7.214 NMSA 1978. However, it is based upon New Mexico income tax returns and could possibly be manipulated. The second issue revolves around the tax itself. The taxes are not forgiven. The tax burden is simply shifted to the county to pay until an election occurs and the voters decide whether to impose a 1 mil property tax increase to pay for the taxes which have been rebated. In addition, this does not rebate state or school taxes, bond levies, etc. It only rebates the county and city portion of the property tax. Staff recommends denial of creating this ordinance. It has never been passed. It has to be done each odd-numbered year. It has never moved forward, and the public hearing has been properly advertised. I stand for questions.
This is a public hearing item, so we have anyone speaking in favor of this? Anyone speaking in favor?
Online?
Or anyone speaking against this ordinance? Second time, do we have anyone speaking against this ordinance? Do we have anybody on the social? Okay. Just do we need a motion to?
Yes, we need a motion, whether you would like us to do an ordinance and bring that back to you or not.
I would like to make a motion to mirror what the staff recommends, and that's denying the creating of an ordinance under, I guess it's a public hearing agenda item 2 now, correct?
Agenda item 2, that's correct.
Yes. Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of denial of this ordinance?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 3 now is for Resolution R25001. It's the Notice of Public Meetings for Chaves County Board of Commissioners. And in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, the Chaves County Board of Commissioners is required to publish a notice of public hearings each year. The attached resolution, if approved, would establish commission meetings once monthly and the Indigent Health Care Board meetings quarterly on the third Thursday of the month, with IHC meetings commencing as the first agenda item at the Board of Commission meetings at 9 o'clock. This resolution will become effective starting January 1st, 2025, and staff recommends approval. And I'd like to point out that previously IHC meetings were separate. They do not take a real lengthy time, so we would like to include those within the regularly scheduled meeting just as an agenda item. Also attached with this is the County Commission meeting schedule. All the County Commission meetings would be held the third Thursday of the month, except for the July and November meetings, which were rescheduled due to conflicts. So the July meeting would be in the 4th week, and the November meeting would be in the second week. The reason for these changes is the July meeting gives us an extra week to close out the final books, to approve the final budget. That is just a big benefit. Also, New Mexico Association of Counties meeting is generally during the third week, and so there's a real conflict there with staff attending that event. The November meeting, the reason we would like to do that is we have an election to canvass, and so rather than having a special meeting, it's much easier to move our commission meeting back a Thursday so that it all fits within one meeting. And I stand for any additional questions.
We have a motion.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion and mirror what the staff recommends, and that's the approval of agenda item now 3, resolution R-25-001, notice for public hearings.
Well, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Agenda item
Yes.
now number 4.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners. I would like to introduce myself first with the incoming commissioners. My name is Ellie Holland, and I'm the DWI and Juvenile Justice Continuum Coordinator. And I'm also the supervisor for the Community Service Program. As to agenda item number 4, the Chavez County DWI program is requesting the approval to submit the FY26 local and DWI distribution application. The estimated distribution amount for fiscal year 26 is $391,220, which will be allocated as follows. Community Wellness and Outreach, it'll be $186,540. For treatment services, $24,000. Alternative sentencing, $105,916.60. Program administration, $74,763 with 40 cents. The Chavez County DWI program is requesting under the competitive grant the amount of $85,000, which will be allocated as follows. For treatment, $80,000. For alternative sentencing, it'll be $5,000. The application will fund the project year July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Staff recommends approval, and I stand for any questions.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, if I could interject, is it all right? Staff would like to ask at this time if we could table this because some new information has come up, and potentially we'd want to change some of the figures we have until the end of February to report this. And so we're currently working with the DWI board to see if they're willing to take it back and reassess a couple of different options that we have on it. We don't know that they will or won't. We don't know if they'll have a meeting, but at this time we'd like to ask if that could be considered to be tabled. Thank you.
Need a motion to table this.
So to support our county manager, I would like to make a motion to support tabling this agenda item now for resolution R-25-002.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and County Commissioners. Agenda item number 5 is Resolution R-25-003, which is a deletion of property and proposed disposition. Approval of this resolution will allow staff to remove the attached inventory listed on Exhibit A. Staff recommends approval.
We have a motion.
I move we approve resolution R 25003.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second it.
We have a motion, second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, we have
Lewis.
Lewis.
Why we changed it? I know. Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. I'm Louis Jaramillo. I'm the Chavez County Planning and Zoning Director. And I'm here to ask if you would reappoint Dale Rogers and Andy Morley to serve on the Chavez County Planning and Zoning Commission for a term of 6 years. As you may know, the Planning and Zoning Commission consists of 5 members of the community that live in the county district who are appointed by you, the board. Mr. Rogers and Mr. Morley have stated they would like to continue serving on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Because of their years of experience and knowledge, both members are vital to the commission and the county in dealing with planning and zoning issues. They are your recommendation board for all planning and zoning issues.
So they're currently on the board?
Chairman, Commissioners, yes, they are currently on the board.
How long have they been there?
Approximately 10 to 15 years.
Is anybody else stepping in to want to be on there?
Not that we have. We always, Chairman, Commissioners, we've always asked the current members if they wish to remain on the board, especially these two. These two are our leaders. They've flipped back and forth between vice chairman and chairman over the years, in the 6 years that I've been here.
Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we reappoint Chairman Morley and Vice Chairman Rogers to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Motion passes. Let's see, I guess.
We're down to approval of checks, I believe.
Right. Okay, do we have a motion to approve checks?
That's your job, sir.
I had a question on the checks. Through the J&H contractors, we have 2 different amounts there that was paid out. Where do we actually stand on that particular
Mr. Chairman.
thing? Where are we at on the limit as to how much we're supposed to pay him?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Corn, for J&H, they are currently under contract for the Macho Draw project. So those are progressive billings. They come through and they are reviewed by the NCRS, if I said the acronym correctly, that is currently providing grant for that specific project, as well as under review from our Public Services Director, Alex Palomino. If the progressive billing is satisfactory, then at that point we go ahead and process the invoices. So there's not really a limitation, it's just as long as it's certified and approved that the job has been done.
Yeah. Well, what my question is
What's the total?
you gave them 531,000 and then $400,000, and the total grant deal for that particular project was $2 million and something. Where do we stand on that dollar amount as to how much we've paid out right at this moment?
We have paid out about 80% of the contract. So it's about, and as far as I understand, J&H is scheduling soon to finish the final phase, but we are about 75-85% paid out for that contract.
If I can, sorry, Commissioner Korn. So I just received, if it was not yesterday or the day before, a request for some extension. So they presented a new schedule and they're looking to finish out by end of February. So they're waiting for an acceptance from me. I just wanted to sit back with Alex and review and make sure that they're still on schedule. So not quite complete, but they're expecting end of February.
Okay. Well, I knew that, and I'm pretty familiar with what's happening out there, and I'm just kind of want to keep up with the dollar amount because it just seemed like we spent quite a bit out right quick in a hurry, and it's this particular project is a lot of money being spent out on stacking rocks in a basket. So
if you would like, I do have a spreadsheet, what I keep internally, which is like a contracts payable spreadsheet. I can put that contract amount and break down all of the payments to you and what's been paid for by grants versus.
Yeah, if you could do that, because I'm kind of curious as to where we're at, because you know, you've paid out all this money, and I just kind of need to keep up with it.
Yeah, let me update it, and then I'll hand it over to Bill, and Bill can shoot that over to you.
Okay, that's all I had. I mean, I'm just kind of curious as to where we're at on this particular deal. Thank you.
Of course.
Do we have a motion to approve the dollar amount of the checks?
Have to find it.
It's in the pink. Right there.
This one?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of checks in the amount of $3,926,373.67.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of reports.
I would like to make a motion for the approval of the reports.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the next item on the agenda is to go into closed session pursuant to Section 10-15-1H7, which is to discuss threatened or pending litigation, and I'd like to invite our County Attorney Stan Riggs to come in and update you on that. If that's acceptable to you.
We need a motion to go in closed session.
Roll call.
I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session.
You have to read this.
Oh. I'd like to make a motion to go into closed section under the Section D pursuant to Section 10-15-1-H7, discuss threatened or pending litigation.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second?
Mr.
I'll
Wade.
second that.
He already did.
Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Dana,
Yes.
Commissioner Wade,
Yes.
Commissioner Korn,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
and Chairman Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to do the roll call back in, but Hub's got to do that.
Yeah, I have to make the motion to come back.
Right, motion to come back, and that nothing was
Just, right.
except for this was discussed.
It's coming back to you.
Oh, yeah.
No action were taken and nothing except.
How long have you been out of city?
I think 6 years. I was served as a counselor for over 11 and then
Where's
mayor
Hub?
over 13.
Yeah.
He's in the bathroom.
Okay, we have to wait a minute till Hub gets back in.
It's coming out of closed session pursuant to section and nothing except and no actions were taken.
Wait till we get Hub back in here.
Oh.
You probably just jinxed it.
When we're ready to go back, we'll just get the hair and shit. All with you before we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So she's there in the white. Yeah.
Got you.
It's the Pioneer North.
Okay, the man bank.
Yeah.
Pioneer, yeah. That's the only one we have that we sign checks and have to.
I think that's the only one that we have an account like that with. I mean, we have some investments and stuff, I think, but I think that's the only checking. Leave slips and stuff, you want us to call you every time we need signature by the log. Because like the safety things and the performance awards and the.
She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah.
If I ever get one. No. I asked her to check on it, get the pun, but.
You know what?
It had to
I
be-
bet you when you sent your.
Wait, we don't have a clerk yet.
Cindy's on her way.
Oh, Cindy's got to be in here.
Nobody told her to come, I did.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't even realize she wasn't back.
She has to make it official.
I would like to make a motion to return back to our regular agenda after leaving for the closed session pursuant to section 10-15-1H7, where we discussed threatened or pending litigation.
And no action.
And no action.
No action. That wasn't in the line, but I read it.
Yeah,
I'll second that motion.
that were discussed
We have a second on that?
in motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Is
A
that
roll
good,
call.
Stan? Okay, okay, do the roll call, and then Stan wants to clarify.
Commissioner Dana?
Yes.
Commissioner Wade?
Yes.
Commissioner Korn?
Yes.
Commissioner Perry?
Yes.
And Chairman Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, and actually after that, after you do the roll call and come back in session, then you would say that no action will be taken and only those items that were listed in the notice to go into closed session were talked about. So,
Okay, we're back in session, and no action was taken on the items discussed during the closed session. Unscheduled communications are limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone that wants to speak before the commission? Please state your name and address, please.
Yes, sir. Tommy Gomez, 25 Ambush Road in Dexter. I passed out this brochure earlier, according, I think you guys got a little bit of it. So we're still trying to request some kind of action take on Orchard Park Road. So we don't know how to go about it, so I'm requesting some kind of an agenda to where we can get some kind of financing, some kind of construction going on, something to keep evaluation going to where we can see what's happening. So what I gave you gentlemen earlier is this is the Orchard Park subdivision. Residents request an agenda to be added to start fixing the Orchard Park area, prevent flooding, in calibration with the Chaves County Flood Commission and New Mexico Department, DOT. So there are some items, issues that we have. Orchard Park needs proper drainage, culverts, ditches, both sides, north and south of the road. Coordinate with residents for culverts on each side of the driveways. Get with the DOT for larger culverts or create or add more. Coordinate with Chaves Flood Commission on Lake Juan Lake. Apparently that's there's been blocked at the bottom where it enters into 13-mile draw. I think I sent pictures in there. It should be on page 3 at the bottom there. And address the other dams which are on private property. They've been increased in size over the years, which those are on private land. We just trying to understand what it is that we need to do to keep something going, or how we can keep going to resolve the issues that we have there, so we don't get forgotten about like we did in 21 when we had the floods there. Any questions?
I believe your 3 minutes is up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anyone else would like to speak before the commission? If no one else, county manager's communication, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. It's been a real exciting day seeing the process of appointing a solid person to take House Seat 59. We had a lot of good candidates there, and it's just always interesting to be a part of the process. It's a new year. Our county's moving forward well. Our staff is all doing good work, great work, actually. We're really proud of them. I see our new treasurer and chief deputy treasurer there. They are jumped right in, both feet. They're really moving along, getting things done already. So we're thankful to work for Chaves County, and we thank you for all the things that you do for us in the county. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Dana.
Thank you. Just want to say, thank you to those that did put their name in. It's a tough job, especially with the 60-day and then getting thrown in, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you to our staff. Congratulations, Chanel, Rachel. Looking forward to working with you. Just throwing you in there too. Cool. Thank you, Annabelle. Thank you, everybody. Alex. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Stan, for the update on everything. And our county jail, thank you so much. We'll continue to work if we can and see what happens. So, thank you.
Commissioner Wade.
I also would like to thank everyone, of course. And it's been nice to meet you, those of you that I didn't already know, and still nice to know those of you I did. And today was tough, and we just had to go through it. And I just could not believe that there was a couple of people who ended up not putting in their application that indicated that they would, that we could have so many qualified individuals in this county willing to change their lives over a weekend. I mean, less than a week, they're willing to go uproot their lives and go to Santa Fe to work for us. And the qualifications of those people was just astounding. It was wonderful. It was impressive. And I just want to thank all of y'all too. Appreciate you.
Commissioner Corn.
Do you want me to say anything?
Get your timer out.
Huh?
He needs to get his timer out.
You have any comments you'd like to?
Okay. Today was a pretty tough day for all of us. Being I'm here on the first meeting, I probably stepped out of line a time or two. I don't know. I was trying to get some details out of certain individuals, and everybody was, you know, you could see the qualifiers and the non-qualifiers. And I passed on my vote with the understanding that I thought I was going to get a vote back. It would come back around, but it didn't, but that's fine. Appreciate everybody doing what you do. I mean, everybody's doing their job. I just need to do my job, so I appreciate everything. Thanks.
I want to apologize to Ms. Fuller. I forgot to recognize your big old burly husband in that 87, 88 state championship team, because back in the day, Tim was the man. He was very, very good at that. Thank you all for bearing with us through that process. It's tough. There's two things I fear, is the IRS and going through one of those again that we just did today. I hope I don't ever have to do that again, and this is my third, and I hope there's not another one. So it's a tough process. Thanks for bearing with us. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Again, the county employees do a fantastic job. I've told you this before. I work for 2 different agencies in the state, and you guys run a very tight ship, and I'm very proud of you. And I'm proud to say I'm a county commissioner because of the work you guys do and the work you get done. So I very much appreciate you. Thank you.
I'd just like to conclude by thanking everyone. And again, I think we have an awesome, excellent staff of employees here in Chaves County. No matter what department you work in, I think all our departments are excellent. I look forward to working with y'all and with our new commissioners this coming year. And again, I'd just like to reiterate, if each of the commissioners would get us a list or of what committees that they have an interest in or the expertise to serve on, and it'll help with the assignment of committees to each commissioner. With that, we'll adjourn signature of documents and adjourn the meeting.
Congratulations, y'all. You made it.